Hi everyone, welcome to Rike Sports and our preview for the Snooker World Championships. So it's time for the big one. It's back in its usual slot in April and May, with the final played on the May bank holiday. As we know, last year's tournament was delayed and it was played over July and August, and that tournament was won by Ronnie O'Sullivan. Played really well there. That was his 6th world title win and equaled Steve Davis's record, and then he's now only one behind Hendry's record. It was looking difficult for him in the semi-final against Mark Selby, but he came back, won that match, and then went on to win the final comfortably against Kyron Wilson. So in terms of his form since that, this season he's got to finals, but he's not actually won a tournament yet. So he's managed to get to 5 finals, and in them he lost out first of all at the Northern Ireland Open, lost out to Judd Trump 9-8. That was a close match and he played well in that one. Then after that, in the Scottish Open, he lost against Mark Selby. That was not such a good performance there, and Selby won that quite comfortably. Then he played in the Welsh Open final against Jordan Brown. He was a heavy favourite to win that final, but he lost out in a deciding frame. He played well throughout that tournament, only lost a couple of frames getting to the final, and played okay in the final as well. But Jordan Brown was playing really well and deservedly won that final there. Then after that, he played against John Higgins in the Players' Championship, and John Higgins was on fire. That whole tournament, John Higgins really was playing so well. He was beating everyone comfortably, including Ronnie in the final. He beat him 10 frames to 3. And then after that, Ronnie played against Neil Robertson in the Tour Championship final, and again came up against a player that was on fire. Neil Robertson was playing well throughout that tournament, and in the final he beat Ronnie comfortably 10 frames to 4. So Ronnie's had what you say, for a player of his quality, an average season. For most players, getting to 5 finals would be considered a good season, but for someone like Ronnie, he's used to winning tournaments, so he hasn't won one so far. He's got one chance left at the World Championships. He'll be keen to obviously win the title this season, but even more so keen to equal Stephen Hendry's record of 7 world titles, and he's definitely among the favourites. There are quite a few players that you would say are among the favourites, and it's very competitive. I would say there's 5 players that have standout chances to win this tournament. So we've talked about Ronnie, let's talk about the other 4 now. So starting with Judd Trump. So he's the world #1, he's had a really good season, he's won 5 ranking titles, and he lost out, as we know, in the UK Open final to Neil Robertson, and could have won that one. He went to the deciding frame and he lost out on the pink ball. So really good season for Judd. He comes into this, you would say, in not the best of forms, as in the last couple of tournaments he's not played so well in the Players' Championship and the Tour Championship. It was a bit of a mixture of him not playing at his best, and also the run of the balls a little bit going against him. But I think he's going to be primed for this one. He's had a little rest now. Would have been practicing hard, I'm sure, and he's going to be really motivated to win this title. He's won it one time before, as you know, in 2019. He'll be hoping to make it a 2nd World Championship this year, and he has to go into it as the man to beat. As I said, not just this year with the 5 ranking titles, but last year as well. He had an amazing season. He won 6 ranking titles last year, and he's been winning tournaments all over the place. So if he brings his A game, he definitely has to be the favourite and the one they all have to beat. Then we've got Neil Robertson. So Neil Robertson has been on fire as well this season, you've got to say. He's not played as many tournaments as some of the others. So after the UK Open Championship that he won, he decided to have a little bit of a rest after the Masters. But then he came back and he played so well in that Tour Championship, where he won against everyone who was playing comfortably, and he looks in really good form. He's a heavy scorer, as we know, and his game's looking in good order, so he's going to be a danger for more. He's a previous winner of this tournament as well. It's quite a few years ago now, and the player of his class would have hoped to have added more World Championships to that, and he'll be looking to do that at this year's championship. Then we've got Mark Selby, 3 times former winner. We know this stage is ideal for him. He loves the longer format of the game, and he's such a great match player, really hard player to beat in this tournament, and definitely has to go into it as one of the favourites. He's had a good year as well, you could say. He's won a couple of tournaments. It was earlier in the season, he won the first tournament of the year, that was the European Masters, and then he won the Scottish Open, as I was mentioning earlier, against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of that one. Not so good in the recent tournaments, you would say, but as I said, I'm sure, like with the rest of them, he'll have had that little bit of rest now before this tournament, been practicing well, and will be focused and looking to add to his 3 world titles. And to the 5th of the 5 players that I think have the best chances of winning this year's World Championship, and that's John Higgins. So he's had a good season recently, he's been playing so well. We know the last few years he's not been at his usual high standards and winning tournaments the way he would in the past, but that's all changed, and it's, from what he's been saying, changed due to him making a technical change to his game, where he's now lining up to cue closer to the cue ball, and it's made a big difference. It started at the start of his year in the Championship League. He was playing really well there. He carried it on into the Masters, played so well in that match against Ronnie O'Sullivan, one of the best matches I've seen. It was like no miss snooker from John, and he won that one 6-3. Got to the final there, didn't play so well in the final, just out to Yang Bingtao, but then he came to the Players' Championship and produced one of the best tournament wins you could see, where he was beating players of the class of Mark Selby 6-0, beat Jordan Brown in the round before that 6-0, and then in the semis played against Kyron Wilson, beat him 6-1, and then as I was saying to you in the final, he beat Ronnie easily 10-3. So that was one hell of a performance from John, and he's definitely looking stronger and likely to be a major threat for any of the players at this year's World Championship. So that's the 5 players I think that are most likely to win. After them, as I was saying, snooker is very competitive, and there's some great players behind them that have very good chances as well. There's the likes of Mark Williams. He's been in much better form recently. He's been playing well. It's in the shorter formats, but he won the Pro Series. That's only best of 3 frames tournament, but he done well to win that. And then also in the Championship Snooker League, that's only over 5 frames, but he played really well in that tournament as well. Got to the final there, so he's looking in better form recently, and we know he's a former world champion, 3 times world champion. There's also the likes of Sean Murphy. He's a former champion, as we know. He's not been in the best of form recently, but definitely got a good chance. There's the likes of Mark Allen, Stephen Maguire, some of the qualifiers as well that come through. The likes of Ali Carter, we know he's been to the final here at Crucible before as well, so he's been in good form recently as well. So, you know, it's a really strong field. There's the likes of Ding as well. You know, he has won major tournaments before, and he's yet to win at the World Championships, but this could be his year too. So as I said, I believe there's the top 5, and then behind them the others have less of a chance, but they still do have a chance. So we're definitely going to get a lot of good matches, close matches, and as I said, even with the players that like lower down the rankings or have come through the qualifying, they are really good snooker players, and they're capable of winning against anyone on their days. In terms of how I think the tournament will go then, so if we look at the draw, the 5 players that I think are most likely to win, 3 of them are in the top half of the draw and 2 of them are in the bottom half of the draw. So in the top half of the draw we got Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Selby and John Higgins, and in the bottom half we got Judd Trump and Neil Robertson. So with that, they couldn't play each other in the final. The 3 in the top half would have to meet on the route to the final, and same for the 2 in the bottom half. So how I think it will go is, so if it was to go to form and the rankings, it would be Ronnie O'Sullivan in the semi-finals against either John Higgins or Mark Selby. So I would go for Ronnie to get to the semi-final and to play against John there. I think John would get the better of Mark. I think he's been in better form recently. So that would be the semi-final lineup for the top half of the draw for me. And for the bottom half, as I said, if it was to go to form and the rankings, it should be Judd Trump against Neil Robertson. And then for my semi-final winner predictions, it's really difficult to call both semi-finals tight matches, and it could go either way. All 4 players are so good that I've got to make a call on it. So with the first one between the top half, Ronnie O'Sullivan versus John Higgins, I'm going to go for Ronnie to win. It'll be really close. It could be go to deciding frame that one, and it's just I guess who plays the best. It's a long format, so you know it's not just about playing well for a couple of hours. It's playing well over sessions, and it just depends on who managed to be most consistent over them sessions. I think Ronnie would just edge out John Higgins there, and then in this other semi-final, same thing. I think it would be close. You know, they've had some great matches, Judd and Neil, and played in many finals together, as we've seen the UK Open I was talking about. There's been other finals. They played the English Open this year as well, and yeah, they've had really good matches against each other. It's always high quality snooker. Again, could go to the deciding frame. I think Judd will just edge that one. I think Judd just has that slightly better game overall than Neil, so again, it's going to be about who's most consistent over that long format of a match. And then it's about to give us a final lineup of Ronnie O'Sullivan versus Judd Trump, and what a final that would be. Like, that is, for me, it's the best final we possibly could have. I think it is the 2 best players in the game. They are ranked world number 1 and world number 2 right now, and it would be a case of the defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's trying to equal the world record of world titles of Stephen Hendry's, against the current world number 1 and the guy that's most likely to be dominating snooker the way Ronnie did, and Stephen before that, and Steve Davis before that. It's most likely that Judd over the next years going forwards will be the dominant force in the game. He has been this season and last season. As I said, he's won the most ranking titles, and he's been the most consistent player. So picking a winner out of them two, again, so difficult. You know, again, could go to a deciding frame, would be close either way. Like, it's not going to be a final like we saw last year where it was just so one-sided. I think it would be a much closer final if they did meet each other in the final. And I'm going to go for Judd to win that one. I've been predicting Judd to win the last couple of tournaments that I've done, these previous fourths in the Players Championship and the Tour Championship. Didn't work out for him. As I said, a few things went against him. He wasn't at his best, but I'm still going to stay with Judd. I do think he is the man to beat. He is the best player in the world right now, and he is going to be, in my opinion, the 2021 Snooker World Champion. That's all for me. Please remember to subscribe, like and share. Thank you.